Atalanta 2, Manchester United 2, Cristiano Ronaldo bails us out again. This is not sustainable. We cannot continue performing like this. We can't continue playing poorly and Cristiano Ronaldo having to bail us out every game. It is not sustainable. It cannot happen every game. And when you have a manager, when the journalist asked him how does he feel, where Cristiano Ronaldo has to save Manchester United all the time, why must Manchester United be in that situation? He basically was speaking about the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan, and basically he was saying that this is the reason why you have players like Cristiano Ronaldo in your team to bail you out. That's the mentality that he has. That's how much of a novice he is, that he cannot see that you can't continue this. You can't continue this. Like, when against the lesser teams, like Atalanta's a lesser team, Atalanta don't have quality. Against Atalanta, you can get away with it, but when you're playing a decent team and a top team, they will not give you the opportunity to come back into the game. They will never give you that opportunity to come back into the game. Never. We saw it against Liverpool. We saw what happened, when was it, last week, against Atalanta and against Liverpool. We beat Atalanta 3-2. We went on to the week where Cristiano Ronaldo saved us as well. He won the game for us. We went on to the weekend. We got battered 5-0 by Liverpool, because Liverpool did not give us the same opportunities Atalanta were giving us. Because Liverpool's a top team. Atalanta is a bang average team with average players, mediocre players. When you play in the top teams, when you play in even a decent or good team, they will not give you an opportunity to come back. Never. And so the manager was faced with that question, and he can't see that this is not sustainable. He thinks Cristiano Ronaldo can continue bailing us out. He thinks individual brilliance can continue bailing us out. Individual brilliance does not work against a top team. A top team that got the caliber of players to carry out the game plan, and that got the quality of players to not give you any chances, it's not sustainable. They will not give you the opportunity to come back into the game. Never. But this is the manager that we have, guys. I'm saying it's not sustainable. I'm saying on the weekend we can get another rude awakening as we got with Liverpool. I don't expect it to be 5-0. I don't even expect it to be 3-0. Maybe 3-1. Maybe 3-1. Maybe 2-1 to Manchester City. But let's see. I'll make a preview of the game and we'll discuss all the intricacies of the game. Intricacies, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's word. But this game against Atalanta wasn't a good game. In the first half, we played okay in the first half up until Varane went off. And that's another novice decision as well. You have to look at, you have to look at how can Ole Gunnar Solskjaer play Varane. Varane just came back from injury. How can you play a player that just came back from injury in back-to-back games, in quick succession games? That's the novice decision making that we have from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Varane should have never played this game. The bigger game was Manchester City. You need to keep your star players for Manchester City. And so Varane should have never played this game. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer put him in this game. Now he's injured. Apparently he's feeling his hamstring. So we'll see how the injury, how severe the injury is. But you know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if Varane says he's 50% okay to play the game, Ole will start him. And the minute Varane walks off the pitch, is like he walked off with our defensive soul off the pitch. We were all over the place defensively, as we always are. As we always are. And people were saying the Tottenham game was a fantastic game. No, guys, we have to put it in context. Tottenham were at the brink of sacking their manager. When they lost to us that evening, they sacked their manager. That's the situation Tottenham were in. The players weren't playing for the manager. The players weren't giving their all. And it was a toxic and not a good environment to be in. So we played a team that was in that mindset, in that frame. You can't look into that game. Now we come and play an Atalanta team where every player is playing to the best of his ability. They're carrying out the game plan from the manager, and we struggled. We drew the game. We started with the back three because that's what Ole will do. If something works for Ole in one game, he'll continue using it until it stops working. That's just how he is. He's done it many other seasons as well. And so we started with the back three. I thought the first half was okay. Even though we gave them chances defensively, we are still all over the place. But with a back three, it protects certain players a bit more. So the first off was okay. Varane went off, and as I said, he went off with our defensive soul because he took everything from us. And it almost looks like even at the back now we rely on individual brilliance. Eric Bailly carried that defense. The whole game, Eric Bailly was defending by himself. Alongside Harry Maguire, who's the weakest link in our team. He has always been the weakest link. But the British media will never speak about it because he's England's best centre-back. And he's English, so they will never speak about it. Gary Neville still goes on national television, worldwide television, and brags about how good Maguire is and how important he is for United. He's not important to us. We don't want him. Every United fan, you know, we divided on many things. We divided on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We divided on Paul Pogba. We divided on Bruno Fernandes. We divided on Anthony Martial. But one thing we're not divided on is Harry Maguire. The vast majority of the fan base, in fact all the fan base, we know Harry Maguire is not good enough. We know Harry Maguire should have never been bought for 80 million. That was a steal that Leicester had. 80 million. 80 million. 80 million. Leicester stole money from us. Harry Maguire is a 40 million defender. We pay double the amount of money. Look what we stuck with now. Every game he makes these mistakes. Every game he makes these mistakes. It's just that some games he doesn't get caught out. Some games the opposition don't score. Guess what? Now in this Atalanta game, they did score from a Harry Maguire mistake. Eric Bailly carrying that whole defense by himself. And I've always said this, guys. Eric Bailly now this season with the inclusion of Varane, he's our second best defender. First it's Varane, then it's Eric Bailly. Eric Bailly is better than Lindelof and he's better than Harry Maguire, but he'll never get a shout, he'll never get a chance in the squad. Let's see what will happen on the weekend. But he was carrying that defense by itself. If it weren't for Eric Bailly, we'd have lost that game by many goals. The blocks that he makes are world class. He puts his body on the line, something Maguire can't even do because he can't even get there close to the player. He's never close to the player. Harry Maguire is never close to the player. What a shambolic transfer. I always say this to you guys. Harry Maguire is one of the worst transfers we've made at Manchester United. One of the worst. He's not one of the worst players we've signed, but he's one of the worst transfers. Because when you look at a transfer, you look at a player's ability and the transfer fee. And these two things need to speak to one another. It's not speaking to Harry Maguire at all. You paid 80 million. The bare minimum that you pay, when you're paying 80 million for a defender, the bare minimum that you should expect is to sign a world-class centre-back. That's the bare minimum. In proper scenarios, in the right scenario, if you pay 80 million for a centre-back, he needs to be the best centre-back in the world. But I'm saying the bare minimum, he should be world-class. Harry Maguire is not world-class. He will never be world-class. He doesn't have the potential to be world-class. He's far away from world-class. And we paid that money for him. As I said, he's a 40 million player. And we doubled that because the scouting and the manager, they don't know how to look at a quality player. They don't know how to judge a quality player. That's why they signed Wan-Bissaka. Big 2021. We in big 2021 and we got a defensive right back. So that's what I have to say, guys. Harry Maguire is one of the worst signings we've made. Harry Maguire should not be the captain. He's the weakest link in our team, and Manchester City are going to target Harry Maguire. They are going to put Gabriel Jesus on Harry Maguire. He's going to give him a torrid time. A torrid time. Bernardo Silva as well, coming off from the midfield to Harry Maguire. A torrid time. David De Gea for the goal, for the mistake. I'm not going to judge him too harshly. It was a mistake from the keeper. Legitimately, he should have saved that easily. It was a mistake, but I'm not going to judge David De Gea. I'm not going to hold anything to David De Gea, because if it weren't for David De Gea this season, we would have lost more games, we would have drew more games, we would have threw away more points, surrendered more points, because if it weren't for David De Gea, he has kept us in games, he has won us games by himself. So I'm never going to look at him. Every goalkeeper makes mistakes. This was his mistake. I hope it doesn't happen again. But I will never hold anything to him. Never. Harry Maguire started all that off. Harry Maguire is one of the worst signings we have made. A bang average centre-back that gets protected by the English media because he plays for England and he's English. So that's their goal, guys. And then our reply to make it 1-1. What a goal. What a goal, what combination play. Greenwood started it off, then you saw Bruno Fernandes, the layback from Bruno. I mean, that's one of the best goals I've seen. in a long time at Manchester United. One of the best goals I've seen. That's just combination play. That got nothing to do with style of play from the manager. That got nothing to do with the manager. That's just combination play from players on the spot, making it up. And a fantastic. People say Cristiano Ronaldo is the problem at Man United. He's not the problem. He's the solution. He cannot be the problem. People talk about, oh, he doesn't run, he doesn't press. He's never done that in his career. Never. Players like him, players like Neymar, players like Messi, they don't press, they don't run around. Because when you get the ball to their feet, they win you the game, and they do things that no other player can do. So Cristiano Ronaldo is not the problem at Man United. He's the solution. It's because of him that we winning games, and we're coming out of games like Atalanta with a draw where we're supposed to lose the game. We're coming out with a draw. It's because of him. So that was the first half, guys, and then you go into the second half and the shambolic. I did not even know when Varane went off. I did not even know what formation we were playing. Never. 1 minute I thought Mason Green was playing wing back. Then I thought, okay, we're playing 4 at the back, but I see Luke Shaw driving infield into the midfield, high up the field. It was all over the place. And even the pundits, when they were speaking in the game, they were also saying at moments in the game, we did not know what formation Manchester United were playing. That's the manager that we have. Second half was a shambolic performance. Shambolic performance. And if we perform like the second half against Manchester City on the weekend, we will get beat. Manchester City will not miss the chances Atalanta miss. Atalanta, as I've said at the beginning, they are average team. Average teams with mediocre players, they need 3-4 chances to score a goal. When you play Manchester City, when you play Liverpool, when you play Chelsea, when you play any good team, 1 chance, 1 goal. That's it. And so if we play that second half performance against Atalanta, if we play like that against Manchester City, they will annihilate us, they will beat us. That second half performance was shambolic. Absolutely no rhythm in our play. Absolutely no combinations with players. No one linking up with other players. No one holding the ball. Nothing. And speaking about holding the ball also, it's just Paul Pogba. Holds the ball too much. In the middle of the park, the greatest midfielders, in the middle of the park, they play 1- and 2-touch football. That's not the position to hold the ball. That's not the position to hold the ball. It's not the position to shield the ball. Paul Pogba needs coaching. As good as he is, he's my favorite player. He needs coaching. He needs a coach to tell him, Paul, stop shielding the ball on the edge of our box. It's too dangerous. Don't shield the ball in the heart of the field, in our half, in the middle of the park. It's too dangerous. Don't hold the ball in the middle of the park. It's too dangerous. 1- and 2-touch football in the middle of the park. That's it. Then when you're attacking and when you're going in the opposition's half, then you can get your dribbling skills out. You can shield the ball. You can do all these things because you know you in the opposition's half. And it's not easy for them then to take the ball from there and go and score a goal. They have to break lines. Someone needs to coach Paul Pogba. But I've got a problem with Paul Scholes coming out and hitting so hard against Paul Pogba. He spoke truth. A bit of truth. But the anger that what he spoke it in, I don't like it because he doesn't have that same train of thought against the manager. He said Paul Pogba will be 35 and still be making the stupid mistakes that he makes. Now, Paul Pogba does make stupid mistakes. I've got a problem when Paul Scholes is making that statement. Why doesn't he also look at the manager, his friend, and say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is 10 years in the job and he's still making the same stupid mistakes that he was making when he was a young rookie manager? Why doesn't he say those things? Instead, all our ex-players, they hit out against our current players. Paul Pogba, they say Scott McTominay and Fred are not good enough to play for Manchester United in a title-winning team. Scott McTominay and Fred will only take you so far. They say all these things, and some of it may be true, but against the manager, they say absolutely nothing. The manager can't even make substitutes. The manager doesn't even know how his best team. He's 3 years in the job now. This is his 3rd full season. And he doesn't even know his best team. He's chopping and changing. Defensively, we look shambolic. We signed Rafael Varane and we still shambolic defensively. They don't criticize the manager, but they want to criticize the players. I've got a problem with that. But all I'm saying is Paul Pogba has to simplify his game. In the middle of the park, 1- and 2-touch football. That's it. That's all you need in the middle of the park. And as I've said, guys, the second half performance is shambolic. Let me give the players a rating. Starting from De Gea, he made a mistake, so you have to give him, and he did not make any serious saves thereafter. So I'm going to give Dave a 4. He made a mistake. Then you go to our centre backs. Eric Bailly, for me, Eric Bailly and Cristiano Ronaldo, man of the match. Ronaldo will get man of the match because he scored the goals. But in terms of performance, Eric Bailly was man of the match in terms of performance. If it weren't for Eric Bailly, we would have lost this game by many goals. So I'm going to give Eric Bailly an 8. I think it was a fantastic performance from Eric Bailly. An 8. Then you go to Rafael Varane. I give Rafael Varane a 7. Before he got injured, I thought he was steady. I thought he was mopping up after Maguire, as all the other centre backs do. And Varane has always been doing that. From the moment he played his first game, he's been saving Maguire. 7. Maguire, I give Maguire a 4. Made mistakes for the goals all over the place. Can't even make competent tackles. Shambolic performance from Maguire. He needs to be dropped. If you drop in Paul Pogba, if you drop in certain players because they lose in form like David De Gea even last season, we need to see you dropping Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire needs to get dropped. A 4 for Harry Maguire. You go to the wing backs. Let's go on his side. Luke Shaw, 5 from Luke Shaw. Did not see too much about Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, if you're playing as a wing back, you need to attack. Nothing going forward. I saw him run infield, I think maybe once, but no end product. I'm going to give Luke Shaw a 5. Wan-Bissaka, I'm going to give Wan-Bissaka a 5 as well. I saw him trying to go forward, but you know what, Wan-Bissaka, as I've said at the beginning of the video, he's a defensive right back. In Big 2021, we've signed a defensive right back. So 5 for Wan-Bissaka, 5 for Luke Shaw. You go infield, 5 for Scott McTominay. Paul Pogba, 5 as well. He made his mistakes. Not a good performance. 5 from Paul Pogba, 5 from Scott McTominay. Middle of the park is the issue. Middle of the park needs coaching. That's one of the biggest areas that need coaching, is the middle of the park. We don't have coaches. We've got Michael Carrick, who's one of the best holding midfielders of his generation. Can't coach. 5 from our midfield players. Then you look at Bruno, where Bruno, I think he played out of position. He was playing on the right inside forward of the front three, and in position I think he was playing more or less as a 10. Bruno also average performance. I give Bruno a 6. He never make too many mistakes, but he did not. Okay, no, he gave the assist. How can I give him a? But his overall performance, guys, that's what I'm saying. His overall performance. The assist was great, but the overall performance, I have to give him a 6.5. I have to give him a 6.5. Marcus Rashford a 5. Done nothing, absolutely nothing. I thought it is the right decision from Oli to start Rashford, because I know Rashford's going to play again in the City game. So this was giving Rashford practice in this new system, this 3 at the back, how to play it. But I think he failed the test, and a 5 for Rashford. He done absolutely nothing in the game. Absolutely nothing. Running with his head down, not using skill to go past the opponents. Absolutely nothing. You see Rashford, he needs space. Without space, Rashford is poor. But Rashford needs space. I believe he'll get space against City. And I believe he'll put in a good performance and he'll score against City. But 5, Cristiano Ronaldo, what can you say? I'll say a 8.5. I'll say a 8.5, because obviously, you know, you need to know what you're going to get with Ronaldo. Ronaldo's not going to give you a total performance, not at all, but he'll score goals, and in the big moments, he'll close it off for you. So I think I'll have to go with an 8.5 for Cristiano Ronaldo, because he scored in big moments, and he basically got us that draw as well, him and Eric Bailly. So 8.5 for Cristiano Ronaldo. The substitutes won't go too much into them. Okay, Mason Greenwood came in early, so you can't give him a rating. I think I give him a 6.5. He was involved in both goals, but overall his overall game, as we always speaking about it, Mason Greenwood's overall game is poor. But he was involved in both the goals. So, as I'm saying, a 6.5 from him. It is a steady performance from Mason Greenwood. That's my rating, guys. If I have to give Oli a rating, I would love to give Oli a 0 every game, but you can't give him a 0. We drew the game. I give Oli a 5. We drew the game. Too bad of a performance from him. I've seen much worse. So I'll give Oli a 5. And let's get City. Let's get City on the weekend, and let's see what will happen. If you're watching this channel, guys, you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and check me out for the City game. Peace.